he wrote something in regards to Montez Sweat and something in regards to what his performance last year. Not an excuse, but something that could add some color to it, right? Saying this: the Bears had more sacks than the Chiefs, Lions, and the Bills last year, and they have significantly upgraded their defensive line, defensive coaching staff, and defensive line talent. The most important thing to track at camp is how Dennis Allen is utilizing his defensive line personnel. The second most important thing to track will be the health of Montez Sweat. Sweat dealt with a number of injuries in 2024 and has had health concerns since entering the league. The 2025 Bears need him at full strength. Now, this is something that we've heard a little bit about before, is the health of Montez Sweat. And that it's not always, while he's been able to play, it hasn't always been tip-top. Now, one could say, is Jeff Hughes writing an excuse for Montez Sweat in the season that he had last year? I already know there's going to be that. But regardless of the reasons, right? Let's take the reasons and put them to the side here for a second. There's no doubt that Montez Sweat needs to have a better performance and a better stat tracking year than what he had in 2024. I think most people are going to agree with that. And luckily now the Bears have invested in that defensive line. Dayo Odeyingbo, Grady Jarrett, right? Adding those names there. And like I always say when Dayo comes up, this was a guy that Dennis Allen wanted here in Chicago. This is a guy that Dennis Allen identified early in the offseason that he was the guy that he, in his system, he wanted on the opposite side of Montez Sweat. And we'll see what ends up shaking out with that. There's no doubt that Montez needs to be better. And his health, that's been something that's been rumblings about. And Montez is going to have to do what he needs to do to keep his health together. And, I'm sure that there are a number of NFL players, and this isn't to excuse it or to just wipe it away and say it doesn't matter, but everybody's dealing with injuries after the start of the season. There's very few NFL players that are fully healthy. We're talking about nothing ailing them, no pain, no nothing after week 2 or 3 of the league. It just is what it is. These are 200-pound men running into each other every single play. Sometimes 250-pound men running into each other every single play, right? So it's a lot of nagging injuries that happen over the course of the season. And especially with somebody like Montez Sweat, who was able to be double-teamed as much as he was because there was no consistent pressure from the middle or from the opposite side of Montez Sweat. Now getting that more consistently is going to be important to not only keeping Montez Sweat fresh, but also Montez Sweat giving and performing at the level that we know that Montez Sweat has the capability of doing. Now, there's a lot of doubt. One thing about Bears fans, I love y'all, but one thing Bears fans are going to do, they're going to doubt a motherfucker, right? And so I see Bears fans say things like, there's not a single team in the league that views Montez Sweat as an above-average defensive line, but the Bears paid him this much money. Shut the fuck up.